Hello?
Blessed morning, Manuka.
Hello? La 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 la. La la la. Hello? La 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 la. Hello? La la la. Hello? Hi. Hello. Good morning. Good blessed morning, everybody. It's lovely to see all of your faces out there in the crowd today at church on time, despite last week's kerfuffle. Church was cancelled, and I know this may have distraught many of you, but it's important to remember that God, you know him? God, the big man upstairs, our Lord is good. God is good all of the time. Hi, Rob, good morning. Good morning. Thank you. My book. There is a Bible in here somewhere, and so we're going to be reading it. This is the 8th book. We're up to I think it's the 8th book. We're up to the 8th book in the trilogy, the 66 Elegy. 66 book. Session number 17. 16 or 17. Who remembers? Does anybody remember what happened last time? Please remind me, because it's been a while, and I don't really remember. The Book of Judges, it was, where the Israelite people were like, God, where? I don't see a God, where? And so they fell into depravity. And so God was like, you shall pay for breaking your covenant with the Lord. And so he brings punishment and famine and stuff. And then the people are like, oh God, what have we done to deserve this aside from break our covenant and stop believing in you and praying to other lords and idols and stuff? And then God was like, okay, I will fix everything. And so he raised up a judge, a prophet in the land, and he's like, yeah, I can be father, yes. For today I'm Father Manuki. And then the Israelites were like, prophet, but then the prophet died. So then the Israelites were like, it's been 5 minutes since the prophet died, since the last miracle. I guess we have to pray to idols again and start having relations with people we shouldn't be having relations, and murdering people or something. And so God brings plague and whatever onto them, and then that happens like 10 times, sort of like a looping story last book. And then Samson comes, and what does he do? Remember what Samson did? He fought off a lion or something. He fought a lion, and then he fought off a lion, and then he was brought into like a temple, and was like, God, please. He was like brought into a temple. where he like raided a camp and slaughtered everybody in the camp, and then he was captured and brought to the place with all of the people, all of the sinners. And then he was like, Lord, allow me to vanquish my enemies. And so he he punched a pillar, and then the whole building came down on top of everybody. That's what happened, right? Something like that. I did have a crazy day today, but I'll talk about it later. After church. Maybe. Yeah, we'll see. I do want to say something pretty crazy. This book, this is the book of Ruth, and the book of Ruth only has 6 chapters, but I did prepare the next book afterwards, which is more, so we're good. Shall we begin the sermon? In the days when the judges ruled, there was a famine in the land, so a man from Bethlehem in Judah, together with his wife and 2 sons, went to live for a while in the country of Moab. So, the man's name was Elimelech. His wife's name was Naomi. And the names of his 2 sons were Mahlon and Kilian. They were Ephrathites from Bethlehem, Judah. And they went to Moab and lived there. Now Elimelech, Naomi's husband, died, and she left with her 2 sons. They married Moabite women, one named Orpah and the other Ruth. That's the name of the book. After they had lived there about 10 years, both Mahlon and Kilian also died, and Naomi was left without her 2 sons and her husband. When Naomi heard in Moab that the Lord had come to the aid of his people by providing food for them, she and her daughters-in-law prepared to return home from there. With her 2 daughters-in-law, she left the place she had been living and set out on the road that would take them back to the land of Judah. Then Naomi said to her 2 daughters-in-law, "Go back to each other of you, to your mother's home. May the Lord show you kindness, as you have shown kindness to your dead husbands and to me. May the Lord grant that each of you will find rest in the home of another husband." Then she kissed them goodbye, and they wept aloud, and said to her, We will go back with you to your people." But Naomi said, "Return home, my daughters. Why would you come with me? Am I going to have more sons who could become your husbands? Return home, my daughters. I am too old to have another husband, even if I thought there was still hope for me. Even if I had a husband tonight, and then gave birth to sons. Would you wait until they grew up?" I thought they weren't allowed to have more than one husband, because if they weren't a virgin, then they would got stoned to death. Return home, my daughters. I am too old to have another husband, even if I thought there was still hope for me. Still hope for me. Even if I had a husband tonight and then gave birth to sons. Would you wait until they grew up? Would you remain unmarried for them? No, my daughters. It is more bitter for me than for you, because the Lord's hand has turned against me. At this they wept aloud. Then Orpah kissed her mother-in-law goodbye, but Ruth clung to her. She's doing a ha-ha unless moment. Look, said Naomi, your sister-in-law is going back to her people and her gods. Go back with her. But Ruth replied, don't urge me to leave you or to turn back from you. Where you go, I will go. And where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my beloved. Your people will be my people, and your God my God. Where you die, I will die, and there I will be buried. May the Lord deal with me, be it ever so severely, if even death separates you and me. When Naomi realized that Ruth was determined to go with her, she stopped urging her. So the two women went on until they came to Bethlehem. When they arrived in Bethlehem, the whole town was stirred because of them. And the woman exclaimed, can this be Naomi? Don't call me Naomi, she told them. Call me Mara, because the Almighty has made my life very bitter. I went away full, but the Lord has brought me back empty. Why call me Naomi? The Lord has afflicted me. The Almighty has brought misfortune upon me. So Naomi returned from Moab, accompanied by Ruth the Moabite, her daughter-in-law, arriving in Bethlehem as the barley harvest was beginning. Pretty bold. I didn't realize women got to have a whole book to themselves. That was nice of them. Now Naomi had a relative on her husband's side, a man of standing from the clan of Elimelech, whose name was Boaz. And Ruth the Moabite said to Naomi, let me go to the fields and pick up her leftover grain behind anyone in whose eyes I find favor. Naomi said to her, go ahead, my daughter. So she went out, entered a field, and began to glean behind the harvesters. As it turned out, she was working in a field belonging to Boaz, who was from the clan of Elimelech. Just then Boaz arrived from Bethlehem and greeted the harvesters. The Lord be with you. The Lord bless you, they answered. Boaz asked the overseer of his harvesters, who does that young woman belong to? The overseer replied, she is the Moabite who came back from the Moab with Naomi. She said, please let me glean and gather among the sheaves behind the harvesters. She came into the field and has remained here from morning till now, except for a short rest in the shelter. So Boaz said to Ruth, my daughter, listen to me. Don't go and glean in another field, and don't go away from here. Stay with the women who work for me. Watch the field where the men are harvesting, and follow along after the women. I have told the men not to lay a hand on you, and whenever you are thirsty, go and get a drink from the water jars the men have filled. At this, she bowed down with her face to the ground. She asked him, why have I found such favor in your eyes that you notice me, a foreigner? Boaz replied, I've been told all about what you have done for your mother-in-law since the death of your husband, and how you left your father and mother and your homeland and came to live with the people you did not know before. May the Lord repay you for what you have done. May you be richly rewarded by the Lord, the God of Israel, under whose wings you have come to take refuge. Hi, Sigasha, good morning. May I continue to find favor in your eyes, my lord, she said. You have put me at ease by speaking kindly to your servant. Though I do not have the standing of one of your servants. At mealtime, Boaz said to her, come over here Have some bread and dip it in the wine vinegar." When she sat down with the harvesters, he offered her some roasted grain. She ate all she wanted and had some left over. As she got up to glean, what is glean? This word has been used like 10, 20 times in this book, and it's only been like 4 pages, and it's not a real word. I've never heard this word any other time in the world. Glean. Like the TV show where they sing and shit. Boaz gave orders to his men. "Let her gather among the sheaves, and don't reprimand her. Even pull out some stalks for her at the bundles and leave them for her to pick up. And don't rebuke her." So Ruth gleaned in the field until evening. Then she threshed the barley she had gathered, and it amounted to about an ephah. She carried it back to town, and her mother-in-law saw how much she had gathered. Ruth also brought out and gave her what she had left over after she had eaten enough. Her mother-in-law asked her, "Where did you glean today? Where did you work? Blessed be the man who took notice of you." Then Ruth told her mother-in-law about the one at whose place she had been working. "The name of the man I worked with today is Boaz," she said. "The Lord bless him." Naomi said to her daughter-in-law, "He has not stopped showing his kindness to the living and the dead," she added. "The man is our close relative. He is one of our guardian redeemers." Then Ruth the Moabite said, "He even said to me, 'Stay with my workers until they finish harvesting all my grain.'" Naomi said to Ruth, her daughter-in-law, "It will be good for you, my daughter, to go with the women who work for him, because in someone else's field you might be harmed." So Ruth stayed close to the women of Boaz to glean until the barley and wheat harvests were finished, and she lived with her mother-in-law. One day Ruth's mother-in-law Naomi said to her, "My daughter, I must find a home for you, where you will be well provided for. Now Boaz, with whose women you have worked, is a relative of ours. Tonight he will be winnowing barley on the threshing floor. Wash, put on perfume." Wow, they even had perfume in those days. "Blessed morning, Manuka." "Blessed morning, Loomis." "Wash, put on perfume, and get dressed in your best clothes. Then go down to the threshing floor, but don't let him know you are there until he has finished eating and drinking. Where he lies down, note the place where he is lying. Then go and uncover his feet and lie down. He will tell you what to do." "I will do whatever you say," Ruth answered. So she went down to the threshing floor and did everything her mother-in-law told her to do. When Boaz had finished eating and drinking and was in good spirits, he went over to lie down at the far end of the grain pile. Ruth approached quietly, uncovered his feet, and lay down. In the middle of the night, something startled the man. He turned, and there was a woman laying at his feet. Who are you?" he asked. "I am your servant, Ruth," she said. Spread the corner of your garment over me, since you are a guardian redeemer of our family." "The Lord bless you, my daughter," he replied. "This kindness is greater than that which you showed earlier. You have not run after the younger man, whether rich or poor. And now, my daughter, don't be afraid. I will do for you all you ask. All the people of my town know that you are a woman of noble character. Although it is true that I am a guardian redeemer of our family, there is another who is more closely related than I. Stay here for the night, and in the morning, if he wants to do his duty as your guardian redeemer, good. Let him redeem you. But if he is not willing, as surely as the Lord lives, I will do it. Lie here until morning. So she lay at his feet until morning, but got up before anyone could recognize. And he said, "No one must know that a woman came to the threshing floor." He also said, "Bring me the shawl you are wearing and hold it out." When she did so, he poured into it 6 measures of barley and placed the bundle on her. Then he went back to town. When Ruth came to her mother-in-law, Naomi asked, "How did it go, my daughter?" Then she told her everything Boaz had done for her, and added, "He gave me these 6 measures of barley, saying, 'Don't go back to your mother-in-law empty-handed.'" Then Naomi said, "Wait, my daughter, until you find out what happens, for the man will not rest until the matter is settled today." What? Meanwhile, Boaz went up to the town gate and sat down just as the guardian redeemer he had mentioned came along. Boaz said, "Come over here, my friend, and sit down." So he went over and sat down. Boaz took 10 of the elders of the town and said, "Sit here," and they did so. Then he said to the guardian redeemer, "Naomi, who has come back from Moab, is selling the piece of land that belonged to our relative Elimelech. I thought I should bring the matter to your attention and suggest that you buy it in the presence of these seated here, and in the presence of the elders of my people. If you will redeem it, do so, but if you will not, tell me, so I will know. For no one has the right to do it except you, and I am the next in line. I will redeem it," he said. I don't know what they're talking about. I'm not following. Anyone following? What are they talking about? I will redeem it? Do not redeem it? What are they talking about? Then Boaz said, "On the day that you buy the land from Naomi, you also acquire Ruth, the Moabite, the dead man's widow. In order to maintain the name of the dead with his property." So the guardian redeemer said to Boaz, At this, the guardian redeemer said, "Then I cannot redeem it, because I might endanger my own estate. You redeem it yourself. I cannot do it." Now, in earlier times in Israel, for the redemption and transfer of property to become final, one party took off his sandals and gave it to the other. This was the method of legalizing transactions in Israel. That's funny. So the guardian redeemer said to Boaz, "Buy it yourself." And he removed his sandal. Then Boaz announced to the elders and all the people, "Today you are witness, says, that I have bought from Naomi all the property of Elimelech, Kilion, and Mahlon. I have also acquired Ruth, the Moabite, Mahlon's widow, as my wife, in order to maintain the name of the dead with his property, so that his name will not disappear from among his family or from his hometown. Today you are witnesses." Then the elders and all the people at the gate said, "We are witnesses. May the Lord make the woman who is coming into your home like Rachel and Leah, who together built up the family of Israel. May you have standing in Ephrathah and be famous in Bethlehem. Through the offspring the Lord gives you by this young woman, may your family be like that of Perez, whom Tamar bore to Judah." So Boaz took Ruth, and she becomes his wife. When he made love to her, the Lord enabled her to conceive. The Lord enabled her to conceive, and she gave
morning, Manuka.
and she gave birth to a son. Good morning, Dusty. The woman said to Naomi, "Praise be to the Lord, who this day has not left you without a guardian redeemer. May he become famous throughout Israel. He will renew your life and sustain you in your older age. For your daughter-in-law, who loves you and who is better to you than 7 sons, has given him birth." Then Naomi took the child in her arms and cared for him. The woman living there said, "Naomi has a son," and they named him Obed. He was the father of Jesse, the father of David. This, then, is the family line of Perez. Perez was the father of Hezron. Hezron was the father of Ram. Ram was the father of Amminadab. Amminadab, the father of Nahshon. Nahshon, the father of Salmon. Salmon, the father of Boaz, the father of Obed. Obed, the father of Jesse. And Jesse, the father of David. That was it. That was the book. The Book of Ruth. I hope you enjoyed the Book of Ruth, because that was it. Quite informative. We learned a lot there. We learned about groaning. Is it groaning? Or gleaning? Yeah, we learned about gleaning. They did a lot of gleaning. Did we learn who Ruth was? Yeah, the daughter of Naomi, the daughter-in-law of Naomi, I don't know, me?